What I love people on the internet, my name is Kevin and welcome back to another video. Okay guys, so for today's video I have got myself my January wrap up, which is more December and November 2016 wrap up as well as the January one, because I haven't done a wrap up since October of last year. So I have a few books that were read last year that I need to include in this, and there's actually not that many because I've been in a bit of a reading slump, but I'm kind of out of it now, so it's fine. And I have 6 books to talk to you guys about, so without further ado, let's just jump into this. Okay, so the first book that I read was Gemini by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, and you guys know that I have read this because I've just been raving about it ever since. And yes, I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. It is the second book in the Illuminate trilogy, I believe. And this book was absolutely amazing. I loved it so much. Nick, who's in this book, is my absolute bae. I thought this book was so fast-paced, so entertaining. It blew my mind, and it just gave me loads of like different trust issues because, yeah, if you've read the book, you understand why. And if you have not picked up this series, I would highly recommend that you do because it's such a fast-paced book series, and it's honestly one of my new favorites. And the way it's told is supposed to be like weird to some people, but honestly it's just so unique and just such a great way, and it's so gripping, and you just won't be able to put this book down. And I just flew through it, even though it's a huge book, but you just fly through it. Like, honestly, you need to read this series if you haven't picked it up. The next book that I read was A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, and I give this book a 5 out of 5 stars also, and you guys know that I've read it as well because I've talked about it in videos, and I'm just showing you guys in a wrap up now that I've actually read it. And 5 out of 5 stars. I absolutely bawled my eyes out to this book. But this book is so amazing. It's about this boy named Connor, and this monster comes to him every night and tells him 3 different stories. And then on the last day, Connor is going to have to tell him a 4th story. And it's such a beautifully written book. It makes me cry. It's just such an emotional read, and the movie for this book also is absolutely incredible. A brilliant adaptation, and if you haven't picked this up, definitely pick it up and read it. You will absolutely fly through it. It's such a quick read, and it's just so amazing. The next book that I read was If I Was Your Girl by Meredith Russo, and this follows a transgender male to female. And this book is absolutely incredible. I just said absolutely like so many times there, but oh well, let's just ignore that. And this book I read for the YA BookTube Awards because it was one of the nominated books for the category, and it's actually the book that won the category, which makes me really happy. And this book is so incredible. The author is also a transgender male to female, so it's an own voices book. It's so amazing. The representation of transgender and also other queer characters in this book is amazing. I just think the mental aspect of this book is amazing because it brings you to like parts like before her transition, so you get to see how she was really feeling. And I think because it's an own voices book, that is just portrayed so well in the book, and it's just done so amazingly. And that's one part of this book I just absolutely loved. I did give it a 4.5 stars out of 5, I think. The only reason I knocked it down a little bit is because this book is kind of predictable at parts, and that's just my only issue. But it's such a good read. It kind of reminded me of like a Mean Girls kind of vibe because it's based in like a school and stuff, and it just kind of has that feel to it, but not really, because it doesn't like follow anything similar to the Mean Girls really, but kind of does. But yeah, honestly, if you haven't read this, or if you're interested in reading a book about transgender and own voices, definitely highly recommend this book to you guys. The next book that I read is You Know Me Well by Nina LaCour and David Levithan. This book follows a gay main character and a lesbian main character, and also other queer characters along the way, because it's set during Pride Week in San Francisco. Basically, this boy and girl meet each other, and then they basically become like best friends, which is one of the things I hate about this book. Like, it's so unrealistic how good of friends they become, and they know each other like 4 days. Like, really, it's not realistic. And I gave this book a 2.5 stars out of 5. I was really disappointed with this, especially because it's David Levithan. I'm a big fan, and I was really anticipating this book, and it's honestly was such a letdown for me. This was also a book for the YA BookTube Awards that I read, and basically me and all the other judges had the same kind of feeling to it. It was a bit of a disappointment. Wasn't great. I don't really know what else, especially with these being an own voices book. I thought that would come across better, but it was just a big disappointment for me, and yeah, so I gave it 2.5 stars out of 5. The next book that I read was J. Asher, no, that's the author, Kevin. What Light by J. Asher. And this was the book of the month for the Worlds of Worlds book club, which is a book club that I am a part of. And we did a live show for this book. I'm going to leave the link down below if you want to go watch the live show and see our thoughts on this book. I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars. I really loved it. It was such a cute little Christmas read. And the romance and everything was just so cute for me. And like it's a bit predictable, obviously, but it's just, for what it's supposed to be, like a cute Christmassy book, I think it did a great job with that. It's based on like a Christmas tree farm in California, and then a holiday romance happens, and it's just such a beautiful, cute little book. And if you're looking for like a Christmassy read for 2017, I know it's a load of months away, but this is a really good book to read for a Christmassy kind of read. It just gets you in the mood for Christmas, makes you happy, gives you all the feels, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. The final book that I have read is We Are the Ants by Sean David Hutchinson. Now, I read this book on an ebook, and I give it a 3 out of 5 stars. This book follows another gay main character, and it is also another Own Voices book, which that's 3 Own Voices books that I read for the YA Booktube Awards, which is absolutely amazing for that diversity in it. And I also read this for Diversathon, which is the only book I actually read out of Diversathon, which I had for my TBR. Don't know how I feel about this book. I loved the mental aspect again to this book because it deals with grief and depression, and I think that was done absolutely beautifully in this book. I don't really know, because we were talking about this on the YA Booktube Awards. I listened to it as an audiobook, and we think that maybe that might have played into why I didn't enjoy it as much. I feel like it just fell flat for me, like motion wise. I was just here the whole time. I kind of wanted to feel sorry for the main character, but for some reason I genuinely wasn't feeling sorry for him, if that makes any sense. Like, I just wasn't getting emotion, so maybe I just wasn't really connected to the character, but I was connected to more of the side characters rather than the main character, which is the one I could relate more to, but I just couldn't connect emotionally with the character. So it's a bit of a weird one for me. I give this 3 out of 5 stars. Definitely would recommend it, especially this has like a sci-fi element to it, because this guy named Henry has been abducted by aliens, and he has been told that the world is going to end on the 29th of January 2016, I think. And so yeah, he's basically just counting down until the end of the world, and he has the opportunity to stop it by pushing a button. Yeah, so it's a really interesting book, and I would definitely recommend it to you if you're interested in it. But just for me, I just couldn't connect emotion wise, and it's just a shame really. So guys, that is it for all of the books that I read in November, December and January of 2017 and 16. Hopefully February will be a really good reading month for me. So yeah, let me know down below if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. And other than that, I will see you all in my next video. So goodbye guys.